What is going on, guys? DBG here, and in this video we're going to be talking about something interesting. It is something very, very interesting in my team. So lads, we have seen something that I expected, but I expected it last week. Not gonna lie, I expected it last week. So we have got Chris Webber, Galaxy Opal. Chris Webber, Galaxy Opal as the reward card for Idol set. We all knew he was going to be a power forward, and it's going to be Chris Webber, which is an interesting player. It is an interesting player. So, if I am going to say this right now, I don't think that this is going to be the same Chris Webber SIGs-wise as this. And we got Chris Webber here. This Chris Webber has got base 22 and the upper runes this jumper. I'm telling you now, the upper runes this jumper. His jumper is ridiculously bad. Not actually, you know what? These dribble 6 might actually be his actual dribble 6. But it'll be weird. I don't see the release changing. But I do see just a couple of changes with the cards. So let's just have a look at just in general Chris Webber's animations, because I was one of the lucky few people to have got this Chris Webber, because I massively overspent for him. But he did lock in for Draymond, who's been like my favorite player all year. So Chris Webber, obviously no hot zones. Just this release, it's not it. You can see it. You can see it that upper base 22 is fine. You can see that at that upper, it's rough. It's basically it's thorough release. The only way I can describe it is this thorough Bailey release. So, and I don't see 2K changing it. I really don't, because it's been his release since last year. But at the end of the day, it's not an awful release. It just looks awkward. His upper looks really awkward. Just look at his feet, basically. You're going to have to learn to look at the feet, because the upper is so awkward. So, what do I expect out of this card? Honestly, what I expect, because he's a Galaxy Opal, and we got to look at 2K. We got to think about 2K20 Chris Webber. So if you guys don't remember, Chris Webber back in 2K20, he was the jack of all trades big man. So he actually had if I'm not mistaken, his pink diamond card was the first ever it was the first ever center to have half quick first step. I don't think we have any of them right now. So I can see that happening again with this card. I can see this card having half quick first step. And there is one card that, like, I'm gonna say this right now. I'll be iffy on his release, and I would not lock in right now. I would not lock in until you start seeing some gameplays. And if it is the same release, just basically what I would advise you guys to do: check 2KDB, check his release if you can get it down, check his dribble sigs by going into like custom rosters and putting all those sigs on Chris Webber and using them in like shoot around and stuff on custom rosters. Because it's a massive lock-in. Like, if you're looking at the price of these cards, I don't know what the price is going to be. So it's 400k, 440k, let's say 540k, plus 200, 750k, plus whatever, 50, 60k, like 800k, plus inevitable 200k. This card's going to cost you $1 million. So you've got to know. You've got to commit. For $1 million MT, you have got to commit. You've got to fully commit to this card right here. And it's a weird one, because I can see him being like Blake Griffin, but I can also see him being terrible. I can see him being both. There's a chance he's Blake Griffin, but there's equally as good a chance that he is shocking than he's Blake Griffin. Because he could be unbelievable. Like, no doubt about it. You might be able to give him range. He might be able to get clamps. He's probably getting half quick first step. My prediction is he gets half quick first step and half dimer. My prediction is he gets the two of those badges right there. I don't think he's quite going to have the defense or the release of Blake. I don't think he's going to have the player build of Blake, because his player build isn't great. I don't think he's going to be as good. But I think there will be a lot of hype about this card. So what should you guys do with these cards right here? I am telling you right now, there are risks no matter what you do. So, if Chris Webber comes out and he can't get clamps or he can't get range, Every one of these cards are going to tank. They're going to tank. KD, Dominique, Grand Hill, Ginobili. If Weber, and whoever the last card is, if Weber sucks, they're going to tank. But if Weber's good, your cards are going to shoot up in price. It really all depends on how good this Weber is. Because there's a lot of players where you can look and say, there's a certain cap on where they objectively can go. So, for example, if the player, like I know we already have a pink diamond Paul George. There is a cap for how good at this stage in the game a Paul George can be. Because he's, well, you can give him half range, half quick first step, and he's unbelievable. And in half clamps as well. He's unbelievable, one of the best card in the game. But still, there's a cap. We know what the max cap is. The problem is with Chris Webber is that just like a Blake Griffin, we don't know what this card can be. Because we've seen Chris Webbers in the past that have been really good, and we've seen really bad Chris Webbers. We also know that as of right now, Chris Webber's release is horrendous. But Blake Griffin's release was also horrendous, and they made it faster. So it's a really, really interesting one. And I'd honestly be interested to see what your guys' opinions on what you should do, because I'm at loss. I don't have these cards. I'm not making his judgment, and it's purely a judgment call. Because Chris Webber has the potential to be super hyped. He has the potential to be super juiced. And he also has the potential to be shocking. Like again, as we said with Paul George, we know what Paul George's peak is. It would be that card. And I know his like lowest, for example, would be what we got in the pink diamond. Let me just pick a random player. If we got, not Giannis. Oh, it's tough to pick a random player here. Karl Malone. Let's just say it's Karl Malone. Again, we don't know what it is with that. But like, say if it ended up being a DeMar DeRozan. We know for a fact that DeMar DeRozan, at worst, is going to be a god. Like, because of all his animations, we know that even at his lowest, DeMar DeRozan is going to be a god. So if you saw a DeRozan here, that's what I'm saying. Everything's going to go up. Because we know, at worst case scenario, he's going to be a god. Problem with Weber is that, again, best case scenario for you guys who are investing, Weber's a god, you make a bunch of MT. There's also the potential that Weber sucks, which means you could lose a lot of MT. So this is a player that it has as much like kind of lack of knowledge. Like we know as little about how market is going to be right now than we would have if this was still mystery player, because Weber could be great or bad. He might as well be a mystery player because with his actual SIGs, they're awful. They're awful, and I don't think 2K are going to give them the awful SIGs. If 2K juice him up like juice up Blake, he's a god. If 2K basically juice up his stats and don't give him range and make him pink diamond Chris Webber from last year, he's bad. So anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it. That is the video. What's going to happen to the market? I haven't a clue, lads. I haven't a clue. But yeah, there's another OPAL tomorrow. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.